What's going on, you guys? Fullsteer, and I'm back with another video. Today's video will be an in-depth Camille jungle guide. She is probably the strongest jungler you can play right now. She has a very, very good early game, which scales into an even better late game, which is even insane. She has solo Baron potential. She has a lot of gank pressure. She has very good jungle clear with Tiamat. So just an overall solid jungler, and would highly recommend you playing her. Her ganks are also guaranteed kills with her ultimate. That's just insane. So yeah, let's get right into the rune page. The rune page I use on Camille is press the attack every time. Electrocute got nerfed a while back. Press the attack is by far the highest damage output you can get on Camille, especially if you use this with your Q cooldown as well. You can get a lot of damage on the enemy, so this is something you want to opt for 100%. After that, you want to get Triumph. Triumph is going to allow you to just go dive into a fight, get kills on the enemy, and then also get the HP back, which is going to allow your duel potential to be a lot better, since 1v4, 1v3 situations will be very, very common, especially if you get a lead on Camille. You just want to jump into that team, one-shot somebody, and then try to get the team fight from there. Now, a big thing here is you need to get the attack speed on Camille. Attack speed is very, very crucial. They did nerf her base attack speed, which kind of hurt a lot in jungle, like just early jungle clear, but you can work around it with the new rune setup they have and just getting alacrity. Attack speed on Camille is crucial. Getting more auto attacks and faster is definitely something you want to look for, so that's one you want to get here. The only exception here is if the enemy team has a lot of CC, and especially CC that isn't dodgeable, so think maybe Fiddlestick Sphere, something like that. You want to get the Legend Tenacity there, because that's just going to allow you to get out of that CC faster. You can combine that with Merc Threats. You can also still buy the QSS as well to get out of it, but this is just going to allow you to have something that is doesn't cost you 1300 gold straight up to get out of. So that would be the only exception. Apart from that, definitely want to go with attack speed. Now here, Coup de Grace, just the best one in general. You just deal increased damage on lower HP targets. That's definitely something you want. Now, as far as the secondary tree goes, there is pretty much just one option and one best option. You definitely want to get Water Walking. This is going to up your roaming speed a lot, which just in general is very good. Also, Camille does tend to fight a lot for the Scuttle Grab. If the enemy jungler contests you there and one of you has Water Walking, the other one doesn't, then kiting becomes a real thing, and definitely you do not want that. So Water Walking is 100% the option you want to go for. Allows for better ganks and also just better fight control when it comes to the Scuttle Crab. This also helps you with invading early games. So let's say you're starting red buff on the red side of the map. Then you can go from red buff into the Scuttle Crab ward like the enemy blue buff. And all that extra movement speed whilst you're walking through the river like that's going to save you seconds. And those are valuable seconds. Now after this, you want to get a Transcendence as well. Getting as much CDR as possible on Camille for better Q cooldowns and better cooldowns on your E, ultimate, all that is very, very crucial. Camille, every time, every game, I cap out my CDR. I can even go over my CDR. That's where Transcendence is even better, because with that, you can get more damage from that too. And then for the rune options, you want to go for the attack speed, of course. Attack speed's crucial on Camille. They did nerf her base attack speed, so getting the attack speed rune from 9% here is going to allow you to still have a very, very good jungle clear speed. And you will not have lost that much. Like the base attack speed nerf, not fun, but still, attack speed here, definitely key. After that, you can get Flex for just 10% adaptive force, which just translates into 10 more attack damage, really. And after that, you just pick armor straight up. You can also get magic resist into a, magic damage opponent. Just think Evelyn or something like that. Then getting the magic resist in that case would be worth it. Even though your jungle camps do physical damage to you, so getting the armor here is more valuable in that sense. It's completely up to you. You can get the magic resist against AP opponents if you want to. So that is the rune page. Let's get right into the item build here. Starting off, you always want to get with the Hunter's Machete. I typed it wrong. And a refillable potion is more than enough sustain for you. Hunter's Machete, Camille does a lot of auto attacks, and it's pretty much the meat of her clear speed early on. If you don't have a Tiamat yet, then you're gonna definitely want to try to avoid those AoE camps as much as possible. So Hunter's Machete, as much single target as possible. You do as much auto attacks with your Q auto attack resets. So this is the item you want. Now, rushing this item is gonna be crucial every single game. You have to rush a Tiamat, no matter what. If you can back with 1200 gold on your first back by getting a first blood, that is the ideal situation. Usually it does happen a lot on CAMILLE though, because you can easily back for 1200 gold. Since you are highly likely to get the first blood on just anything, you have that much early game pressure, your ganks are deadly, and no one really wants to fight a CAMILLE 1v1, like level 2 or 3. Definitely try to avoid that, but as the CAMILLE player, this does allow you to get a lot of first bloods, and allows you to get a Tiamat first back. If you don't get enough gold for Tiamat first back, backing with something like double longs for boots, still good. Now, after your Tiamat, there is just one item you want to get going. You need to get that jungle item finished. It is always the Red Smite Warrior enchant. Red Smite allows you to have better 1v1 potential. CAMILLE already has very, very good 1v1 potential, especially with her passive, since it's a shield that's going to allow you to 1v1 even better. Red Smiting somebody, getting 60 attack damage and 10% CDR. Overall, just insane item on CAMILLE. Definitely the item you want to pick up next. And then following that up by finishing your boots if you have not gotten your regular boots already. That would be a late stage. I would definitely want to get those regular boots in between finishing your jungle item and your Tiamat. The reason you want that is you want that move speed from this. Missing out on 25 move speed on a jungler costs you a lot of time between camps, between ganks. It's definitely something you want to try to pick up early. And you can pick it up whilst even building Tiamat if you don't have enough gold for it yet. Now, after your jungle item is completed, you want to get either the Ninja Tabes or the Mercury Threads, depending on the enemy team. If they don't really have a lot of CC, you want to opt for the Ninja Tabe. If they do have a lot of CC, you want to opt for the Mercury Threads. It just depends on the enemy team completely, and you will be able to base that off your game pretty well. Now, going from here, there is one item again that you want to get. You want to rush into that Triforce as fast as possible. Now, there's a couple of opponents to your components to your Triforce. You have the attack speed part, you have the sheen part, and the phage part. Some of you might be wondering what do I get first? What is like the best one to go for? This all depends on your gold. If you do have enough gold for your sheen, it is probably your best choice to just opt for the sheen, because this is going to increase turret pressure. Especially with the new turret plating, this is a very good option. Because every time you use your Q, you can proc it with the sheen together on the turret and gets a lot of turret plating and turret damage like that, which is going to offer you a lot of gold. If you do not have 1050 gold on this back, and you have more like 600 gold or 700 gold or anything like that, opting for anything attack speed is the best. The more attack speed you can get on CAMILLE, the more attacks you're gonna get off. And if you ult someone, every single auto attack you do is gonna increase more damage. Like, it's just gonna give you more damage. So the more you can get off with that ultimate, the more damage you're gonna deal. And that would then be the best option to go for. So it's either attack speed if you don't have enough gold for the sheen. If you do have enough gold, get the sheen and then the attack speed right after. Phage is useful, but not that crucial over sheen or just straight attack speed on CAMILLE. Now, after you just finish this Triforce, there is a couple of items you can go for at this point. It really just depends on what the enemy team has, how far ahead of you, and just in general, it just really depends on every game. I'll explain situations here. First thing you can do is upgrade your Tiamat that you already have into a Hydra. This is going to allow you to get the, just extra attack damage, lifesteal, and mainly the lifesteal part of this is going to help you a lot. Getting lifesteal in CAMILLE is very, very crucial. You can do that in the form of a Hydra. You can also do that in the form of a Death's Dance at this point. Death's Dance also very really good item. Usually when I get ahead on CAMILLE, I will try to go for a lifesteal combination of these two items. This instantly allows you to do Baron as well. By yourself, you can solo Baron with these two lifesteal items. You don't even have to be that tanky. You just need to have those two lifesteal items. Now, if the enemy team has a lot of CC, you can also pick up a quick QSS after your Triforce. So you can have the setup right here with the Triforce and then rush a QSS. For this, you have to think like Fiddlestick Sphere, Ari Charm, all that type of stuff where you have to get out of it really quickly. If those types of situations are there, you need to get a QSS right after this, and then you can finish into or go into lifesteal items like the Hydra. Usually when I get the QSS though, I will not opt to go for the Death's Dance, and I'll just get the Mercurial Scimitar with it. Because I do definitely still want to wait, why is it only 2.5%? There it is, 10%. Not sure what. Okay. So this is a better combination at that point. It's still two lifesteal items. It still allows you to solo Baron, by the way, just so you know that. And then this is, right here, as you can see, you're going to have 3 items from that. And then this is going to be your 4th item pretty much. At that point, if you get a Dev's Dance here too, as well as this one, you can, but usually it's better to just go for the double lifesteal item there. And then finish this build off with the Strix. Strix is still an amazing item with Camille. It gives you a lot of extra bonus attack damage based on your base. So this is just like a crazy item in general. I will pick it up every game. It can either be like a 5th item after like a Hydra. It can be a 6th item after like the other lifesteal item. Usually I will finish my Strix after a Hydra pickup. Or just like, if I went for the Dev's Dance straight up. So if I built this, then this would be a Tiamat and then a Dev's Dance. Then I can go for the Strix right after. But that's usually what concludes my build. You can always in a later game sell your Warrior Enchant and get a GA. The Guardian Angel is a very big item, especially into the later stages of the game, because you can jump in. They're gonna have a lot of trouble killing you, especially if you play around damage and CC well with your ultimate. If you can dodge a lot by just using your ultimate or just get into squishy targets really effectively, you can get those out of the fight and then come back with Guardian Angel. Potentially a double lifesteal item, which you will have at that point as well. And then that double lifesteal will just instantly mean that you can lifesteal all your health back. It's going to be even harder to kill you from there too. You do not need any armor pen on Camille because she does have the true damage from her Q, which is a hefty amount of damage at this stage in the game. Think 1300 damage every time you get the true damage on the Q. Like, that's just insane. So you don't have to worry about any armor pen. And this is going to be pretty much like your full type of build every game. Of course, the Dev's Dance does play into this as well if you do not have to get an QSS for any type of CC. So that's pretty much the build setup for Camille. If you guys have any questions on it, make sure to put those in the comments below. I'll try to answer those questions the best I can. And yeah, let's get right into the gameplay section now. Alright, welcome to the gameplay section of this guide. As you can see, I'm playing Camille and into a Kindred, which honestly is a great matchup for Camille because Kindred isn't that great in the early game. However, she does scale very well, and you really need to make sure you shut her down for that early game. If you can't manage this and Kindred gets ahead, you will definitely have a big issue. Now, as you can see, we both here opt to go for the invade. Always follow your team when they're trying to do invades. Really, like, if you don't really follow them, and yeah, if the fight breaks out and you're not there initially, or like early on, I'd say, missing out on kills or missing out on swinging the fight that way can quite easily cost you games. However, I do recommend as a jungler, do not stick to this fight when your jungle camps are spawning. As you can see, the jungle camps spawn at 130. Fight's still going on, it's 120 right now. They're actually looking to engage. Ezreal does get killed there, and then also Aurelia gets killed here, I believe. Yeah, Aurelia dies there too. Now this fight's pretty much done at this point, but I am, however, doing my red buff right here. Kindred right now, not doing anything, so she's gonna lose time. She still needs to clear her blue buff, and she will be behind off this. Now, I actually will turn the Fog of War to blue side, so you can see what I see through an average game. Now, I am opting to go for this red buff right here because I figured Kindred would be starting her blue buff anyway, and she is very late now, so I can definitely abuse that. Now right here, starting the red buff gives me a slight delay because soloing red buff, apart from getting a good leash from your bot lane, definitely costs you some time. And the Scuttle Crab has spawned by this point. I am hoping that the mark would go on the Scuttle Crab, which it actually did, so I can quickly clear the Scuttle Crab in between, denying Kindred that mark. And at this point, I saw Kindred walk over the ward right here in the bottom corner. So I know she went from blue and she's running straight to a red buff at this point. So I am looking to maybe get the kill on Aurelia here if she tries to dive on Zoe. She does not, however, so I just walk towards red buff. I figured Kindred would be doing it by now, and she actually was. So right here, you just go into her with an E, then auto attack, instantly press Q to get the auto attack reset, and then you can just kill her again with an auto attack into another Q auto attack reset if you get the chance. And at that point, Kindred is pretty much done, and this is all because off of that first invade, I opted to go for my red buff instead of trying to be in that fight like Kindred did, and I just won a lot of time on her there. Now, Volibear is actually a big issue for Camille. It's very hard to gank or fight against him in the early game, if he is your opposing jungler as well, because he has a sphere, his E, which I believe is its E, which just completely cancels out your jump, so you have to wait for him to either use it before you use your stun, or you just try to avoid him as much as possible until you're far enough ahead, or you just use your E to get in a different direction to kite him. Now right here, my main objective at this point is get enough gold to get my Tiamat. I'm really looking to farm for that. First back with a Tiamat on Camille is like an insane game changer. It speeds up your jungle clear by a significant amount, and you need to make sure you try to do it as much as possible, or at least just rush your Tiamat as fast as possible. Right here, as you can see, I am backing with 1200 gold. Not sure why it switched off me there. Backing with 1200 gold, which gives me the Tiamat and is now gonna allow me to clear Krugs and Raptors very easily, which is gonna be that's gonna allow me to keep my CS up. Now right here, I am looking for the gank on bot lane. Let me just back one more time. Can I slow this down, please? Thank you. Now, as you can note from the place I'm waiting for this gank, right here, I try to stand about here. I am not sure if this is warded at this point. I don't see it. So I will just opt to go for, there might be a ward in this brush. If you stand right here, they are not able to see you. And I am just waiting for my Zyra, Caitlyn lane to show up and just try to root one of those two. If Zyra gets the root on either Soraka or Ezreal, Caitlyn places a trap under it. I can just easily jump in from over this wall with Camille and get to either of those with my W. So that's pretty much what's going to happen here. That's like quite an easy way to gank. So whether they see me now or not, Soraka gets hit by Zyra's snare, then gets hit by Caitlyn trap as well, and I just come in and take the kill. I didn't necessarily have to take the kill, but that's just the way it went. So at this point, try to just pressure out a little bit, help your bot lane push in. Make sure there's no one showing up from like a Kindred or anything to try to make sure that your bot lane can't push it. Because if they can't get it into the tower, then your bot lane is not going to have a clean back, which they will have right now. Right here, I'm not sure why it wasn't on me. Back a little bit. So with Tiamat, as you can see, the clamps are easily cleared. I also cleared my Krugs quite quickly too. And that's really why you want to rush that Tiamat and get it as fast as possible. Because if you don't do that, you're going to fall behind in experience, in gold. And that's definitely not something you want. So definitely rush the Tiamat. Now as you can see right here, Aurelia gets into a fight with Zoe. I saw this, I instantly opt to go mid lane. All Zoe has to do is land a sleep bubble and Aurelia is pretty much gone. So that's also a very nice thing. If you have a Zoe in your lane, in your mid lane for example, you have to make sure to try to gank her as much as possible, because her landing that sleep is pretty much a guaranteed kill every time. Alright, here Volibear is opting to ward. I was positioning myself towards top lane and try to maybe get this gank off or get like his summoner flash. I didn't have enough mana in this initial gank to actually try to get the kill. I also wasn't level 6, which I did hit off Riven killing a couple of minions. But I'll take a free flash. It's gonna play into it's gonna play into more kills later on. Taking a flash from somebody is a worthwhile gank at its own. Alright, here, this is kind of unfortunate. The Aurelia, I mean, she scouted it. She was standing in the brush right here whilst I was trying to go for my red buff. She gets a really nice opener on me with a stun. Because I didn't have vision on her, I couldn't not dodge that stun with my ultimate, which is what I usually do against Aurelias, and that cost me my life right here. She does pick up the red buff. Sadly, the Zoe sleeps the red buff instead of the Aurelia, so that costs me my life, but honestly, it isn't that bad. It is unfortunate that I die there, but I mean, it happens. It's an invade, she did it pretty well, and there's nothing else I can do. If you, however, find yourself in a situation, Camille against Aurelia, always try to dodge either her ultimate or her stun E with your ultimate. So opt to ult when she E's you or when she tries to ult you. But predicting her ult's a little bit more difficult than actually predicting her E, because her E actually shows up visibly, which they need to connect. She needs to connect those two dots pretty much, and then that line you have enough time to get your ultimate off. If you land that ultimate in between that time, she will not get the extra Q proc on you, and it will be really difficult for her to actually get the kill on you after that. Whilst you will gain a lot of damage going with your ultimate. Right here, Kindred is opting to go top lane. She just shows up right there, so I instantly walk towards the top side. I do clear my wolf camp here because it's like 1 or 2 more auto attacks. I am not gonna give up on that just easily. Now, Kindred has ultimate, which makes this dive pretty easy. There's not much I could have done. I am still trying to look for maybe get that stun. If I got the stun, it was very close on range right there. If I did get the stun on Volibear, I could have quickly killed him. But I definitely still need to be careful for Kindred. She does have red buff and press the attack, so she can definitely deal a lot of damage to me. Now here I'm really low. The sad part here is that this right now spawns on the Gromp, which instantly means that Kindred will most likely go for it. I tried to clear it as fast as possible before she could get to it, but I did not have my smite up, which made it very difficult, and she could just easily get this from me right now. Now Riven does definitely go on this Kindred, which is very nice. I'm still sticking around even though I'm low HP, because if I can get like a stun off over the wall to help somebody out in any situations, like the Aurelia here for example, then that will be very useful too. Zoe picks up Kindred. Aurelia right there would have killed Riven, but with my E over the wall and stunning Aurelia into a Zoe sleep, that just saved Riven, and that's why you kind of stick around. Even at low HP, you can get that stun off and make a difference. Now right here, I am just gonna try to clear my blue buff. I do have smite, so I can get a little bit of extra HP back and just get the blue buff down. I definitely want this on the timer, because you do not want to keep your buff camps up too long. It's gonna just cost you over like the duration of the game. Right here, that back gives me my warrior enchant, which is going to be a massive damage spike on Camille. The more attack damage you get, the more true damage you do with your Qs. Also, the CDR is very nice from this item, so that's definitely going to help me a lot. Alright, here, as you can see, the effect of Tiamat in just allowing you to clear those camps. I cleared that camp very, very quickly, and that's definitely something you need to be doing. Now, as you can see out the corner of my eye, right there, I was watching mid lane a little bit more than you can see on this right now, because I'm following myself. But as you can see right here, I see the Aurelia go on the Zoe, so I instantly just abandon my camp at that point. Like, finishing your camp at this point, whilst the Aurelia is engaging on Zoe like this, not worth it. If you can, like, help your teammate by just instantly abandoning your camp like that, and it's guaranteed to, like, you get there in time and all that, always abandon your camp. You can always do it later, and Zoe definitely needed my help here. Right there, I can get the Aurelia and pick up the return kill that she would have, that we would have never gotten otherwise. Alright, here I'm making sure to push this in. As you can see as well, turret plating might be a thing, so I think actually not opting for it. Interesting. Normally I would have opted for this. I saw the Kindred bot lane, so getting like 1, maybe 2 turret platings there would be very worth it. I'm really not sure why I didn't do it that way. I could definitely see that as a mistake right now if I look back at it. Opting for turret plating in this current meta with the turret plating being here, it offers you so much gold. Like, killing every turret plating just offers you so much gold. It's actually insane. Like, just going for any type of turret plating whenever you can after a gank. Maybe even if it's just 1 turret plating, always try to go for it, because it's just worth so much. Alright, here, same example. Volibear just fears me off him. I can't land my E on him. If I landed my stun there, I probably would have been able to kill him, but since he can just do that, there's nothing I could have done. Now, the main thing I'm doing here is just making sure that I keep my farm going, and as soon as Volibear teleports back to lane and Riven is there, I just try to go for the gank again, which Volibear does go aggressive on the Riven, and as you can see right there, I just slow him first. Always try to slow him first if you can with your W, because that's going to allow you to land an E a lot easier. He's not going to be able to dodge it as easy, and he definitely will have a harder time flashing it. If you land your W first, then he flashes, you will still be slowed on that flash. So you can easily follow that up by an E across the wall, as you just saw me do right here. Again, I'll just show you this gank here. He teleports back to lane, so I just opt to go for the gank. Volibear goes aggressive on Riven, which I kind of figured he would since he does have the lead. Right there, as you see the interaction with that, I W'd him whilst he was still here. It was about to connect, it connected. He flashed it though. It still connected, he was still slowed. And at that point, I can easily land my E, and then he just dies from there, honestly. I just flash Q him, get the 600 gold shutdown. At this point, honestly, my Riven was 1 in 3. I just opted to go for the... Let me just get that kill and get the gold from that. The 600 gold is going to allow me to carry this game even harder. So that's what I did. Now, right here, get as much turret plating as possible. As you can see, the gold from this turret plating is racking up really quickly. So, yeah, every time you kill this, with 2 people, every person gets 80 gold each. If you do it by yourself, it's 160 gold. So, if you can get this done by yourself, which Camille, if she gets to her Sheen, she can do this really quickly by herself. But getting to your Sheen that early into the game with turret plating, you would definitely need to be very fed. And if you are at that point and getting turret platings by yourself, you will take over games completely. Alright, here I'm pinging to go for the mid lane. I pinged that my ult's ready. As soon as you have your ultimate on Camille, you always want to make sure you use it on cooldown pretty much. Try to look for a gank with that ultimate, because it's a guaranteed kill. If you ult anyone, they cannot get out of that ultimate, and you can easily just kill them in that time. Like, no problem at all. However, I do miss my E on that wall right there. It was very close. It didn't connect, which I should have thrown it a little bit more to the side. And then I would have been able to jump over this wall right here. And I would have been able to get through this guy with my W on, slow him. And I didn't even have to ult. He would have died. So I fucked up on that one. And she does get out, sadly. That's completely my bad. Which I'm pretty sure I typed to Zoe as well. Like, as soon as I make mistakes like that, I always like, alright, sorry, my bad. Right here, always make sure to try to be on top of these scuttle crabs, stunning them with Camille first, and then always just finishing them off after. It's pretty much a one-shot every time. It's very, very good to do. It gives you a lot of gold, and yeah, worth it. Now here, bot lane, I just get pretty much Soraka's both of her summoners, and then Ezreal gets out too because of his E. My bot lane was not able to follow that up, but I just wanted to pressure them down a little bit. Pressure is a very, very big thing. If you think that a gank will not work or anything like that, you can still try to go for it at that point. I was already there. I kind of already had the path through that way. Whether I went through the lane and actually tried to pressure someone here, I got both Soraka summoners for doing that. Or if I just walked this way and went to my Crux, which I was like trying to go for anyway, this was definitely the better play to go for. Of course, you can't go and overextend yourself, especially if you're worth a lot of gold like me right now. And especially with the new shutdown mechanics, you definitely do not want to try to go for something way too aggressive. So I just backed off as soon as I saw the Soraka flash and the Ezreal E backwards, and there was really not much I could have done. As again, the power of Tiamat showing you why it's a crucial item to get this down. And I am currently sitting on 2900 gold, which is pretty much a Triforce. Getting your Triforce like this early, pretty much like 15-16 minutes, that's at that point there's really no beating Camille. And yeah, right there I just figured Irelia would be going for Zoe again. Zoe does have a hard time with Irelia. Irelia mid lane is a very toxic matchup, since she is very good at just destroying squishies, and mid laners are pretty much always squishies. So trying to be there as much as possible for your mid laner into an Irelia is very, very essential, to make sure that she doesn't fall too far behind and Irelia just doesn't keep one-shotting your mid laner. As you can see right here as well, I have 90 CS, which I'm trying to keep up as much as possible. Kindred has a much better clear than Camille does, just because of the sheer amount of AoE damage she has. So, it's, like, being equal with Kindred in farm, whilst also ganking a lot on a champion like Camille, she is definitely a very gank-heavy champion, and you need to make sure you do make those ganks happen a lot. Like a level 2 gank on top lane, and then returning for the same kill after that. Like, those types of things are very, very crucial. And if you do those things, you can just straight up win games from there too. Alright, here, this is the moment I can back 3710 gold, which is straight up a Triforce. I have to wait for just a tiny bit of gold, but yeah, that's straight up a Triforce. Picking up that Triforce at this point, 16.5 minutes into the game, that is massive. A lot of this has been made possible by just me getting quite a bit of turret plating gold. I got like probably about 600 to 700 gold worth just in turret plating, or just in turret like gold in general, which is insane. I do also have 7 kills, and I do still have 100 CS, which is pretty good. Like, I mean, 16 minutes into the game for a jungler, that's definitely really good. But I got my Tiamat very early because I did get the first blood. Usually on Camille, you'll be able to get that first blood, because of the fact that she's just such an aggressive ganker. Especially if you start red buff, and maybe in this case, specific game, I invaded the other jungler, which is a very, like, good possibility. But if you are, for example, the other side of the map, right here, this side, you always want to look to start your red buff. Going from that red buff, you can walk to this scuttle crab, potentially clear that, whilst warding this beforehand. So you can ward the blue, do the scuttle, maybe see the enemy jungler on the blue buff right here, so you can just walk in and try to, or like from this direction beneath, walk in, stun him, or do as much damage to the enemy jungler as possible. You can either opt for that if they show on that ward that you just played right before doing scuttle crab, or you can just go top lane if the top laner is pushing in and just get free ganks like that. And then as soon as they teleport back to lane again, you can just do their blue buff in between, or maybe they already did and just go after the teleport, do it again. That's pretty much GG from there, because your top laner will have 2 kills on the enemy top laner. And that's a very early cheese tactic you can do with Camille. I do it in a lot of games, especially when I'm this side of the map, because creating the pressure from the red buff right here, it's just massive. That's something quickly I wanted to mention if you're on the other side of the map. And that the rest of the tactic from there is pretty much the exact same as this specific game, but that's the way you kind of want to start on the other side of the map. Alright, here I saw a collapse from the Volibear and the Kindred on my Riven. I just opt to go for that fight. There's no real way for that Volibear to beat me. I am 8, or well, at that point 7-in-1 with a Triforce completed and a red smite and everything. There's really not much they can do. I do see a Soraka right here. As you can see, the Soraka, Zoe just killed Aurelia. Soraka is walking this direction, so that's pretty easy pickup for me. Just stun him. Auto attack into a Q reset, into another auto attack Q reset is what I always opt for. Right here, I just want to make sure that I use my ultimate so Ezreal cannot get away with like an E flash combo or something going up or in this direction. Locking someone down like that is very, very good. Now, at this point in the game, something you do have to note, if you are, like me, very far ahead, have 10 kills, a lot of good, like, farm at the same time, didn't really die whilst getting those kills, you have 1,000 gold bounty on your head. If you have that much gold bounty on your head, you have to play very careful. Giving 1,000 gold to just anyone on the enemy team is really bad. So from the rest of this game going forward, with me having this much gold as a shutdown, I am going to play extra safe. I will definitely still go for aggressive plays, because sometimes you just have to, especially if you're this far ahead. It's going to be hard for the enemy to win in a lot of situations. But you need to make sure that you play it safe enough so that you just don't int 1,000 gold. Because if I'm pretty sure if I die right now, I'm instantly worth another 1,000 gold. And that's definitely something you do not want to give. 2,000 gold for 2 deaths. That's like dying 8 times or 9 times. Just straight up. That's way too much. You have to be very careful of that. Right here, just taking red buff. At this point, take as much as possible because I'm pretty much carrying my entire team on my back right now. And this back right here gives me Mercs. Mercs very crucial into the enemy team. You definitely do not want to get CC'd down by an Aurelia or anything like that. Now, as you can see right here, this is a clear advantage of playing it aggressive, but still playing it safe. So right here, I go for that play. I get the true damage hit on that. He does proc his ultimate, and he has this claw on him, for example, the Volibear. So I just opt to wait out his ultimate cooldown, or just his ultimate effect in general. I just E out, go backwards, slow the Volibear, walk backwards. There's nothing for him to go. There's nowhere for him to go. He can't go anywhere. He has everything on the cooldown now. He has no kill pressure on me anymore since he lost all that. And I just go back in and kill him like that. That's what I mean. I could have probably won the straight 1v1 with him having his ultimate up and that bite and everything. But you want to opt for a little bit of a safer play and go for something like that. That is a lot better and doesn't risk you giving 1,000 gold away just for free. And that's what I mean by playing it safe but still aggressive. Now right here, I am opting to go push bot lane. There's really no one else around, as you can see on the map right now. We saw a lot of people showing mid lane earlier as well. The Ezreal, Soraka are mid lane. They just died. And I have free reign to press, like, just pressure the enemy team in right now. Aurelia shows up bot lane with not even full HP against a Camille that is level 14. You're 2 levels down on me and 11 kills. Probably not the smartest move, so all I gotta do is just E onto her. I sidestepped that E, or she kind of whiffed it. If she threw it a little bit better, I could have gotten stunned. But there was really no way for her to kill me. I put enough pressure down into my, like, to help my mid laner out against the Aurelia, that she is 3-7 right now, and she has nowhere to really go. Now, a very big thing here is CAMILLE is very good at just pushing turrets, especially once you get the Triforce. Every time you can just Q and then refresh with your Q, like auto attack, then refresh with your Q to get a Sheen proc. And you're just gonna melt turrets if you every time wait for your Q to use it with the Sheen proc. So you have to look at your Triforce cooldown in the bottom corner. Might be able to show it in this thing right here. As you can see right here, I hit it, Q. Waiting for the Triforce cooldown right there. And then I Q again right as the Triforce cooldown shows back up. And again right there. So that's how you kill the turret. That's definitely something you want to take note of on CAMILLE in general. Always play around your Sheen procs with your Qs. You definitely still have to wait for your empowered Q to get the extra damage, which is the duration of your Sheen proc. But you want to land those Qs as much as possible with your Sheen proc. So keep an eye on your Triforce. Again, I'll just show you one more time. Just have to keep an eye on your Triforce in the bottom corner. So you hit it right there. get the Triforce proc, and right when it comes back, I get the Triforce proc again. Right when it comes back, I do it again. And then when it comes back, I do it again. And then that's the way you kill turrets. And right here, I'm trying to opt for this as well. Again, on the volley bear, I flash over and I try to keep my Triforce procs my Qs. So every time you Q, you hit it, Triforce proc. Q, hit it, Triforce proc. So that way you're going to get the most damage out of your Qs. If you don't do this, you're going to lose out on a lot of damage. And you definitely want to try to avoid that as much as possible, because the Q Sheen combination is what's going to give you a massive edge in a lot of 1v1 fights. And especially when you're trying to kill turrets, you have to be very, very aware of that as well. Alright, here I'm currently sitting on 2400 gold, which is going to be a pretty good back for me. So I'm definitely want to look to recall and get the Hydra finished right there. Finishing a Hydra on Camille gives you a lot of just lifesteal, and lifesteal at this point is very, very crucial. It allows you to just dive into fights more and even survive just a lot better. Also, a thing to note on Camille, it's a nice bonus to her as well. If you get double lifesteal items, so whether that be, I'll rewind this a little bit, I just explained. If you get double lifesteal items, the combination of the Ravenous Hydra with either a Death's Dance, a Mercurial Scimitar, or just, like, honestly any other lifesteal item, you can solo Baron with that. You can literally go onto the Baron and keep making sure, by the way, that you use those Qs on the Triforce procs every single time. If you do that, you can solo Baron with that, because you're going to have enough lifesteal with just those two lifesteal items, and then also just your jungle item in general, to keep your health up high whilst you're bursting down Baron, and you do not lose any damage on Camille because your Qs are true damage. So you can keep chunking the Baron with those true damage Qs, and that's going to easily just allow you to solo Baron at 2 lifesteal items. That's just a quick note. That's going to allow you to carry like even better as like a 1v9 type of game, like I'm playing this game right here. Sure, my team has played it pretty well, but honestly, like 13-1 right now. As you can see right there, as I mentioned earlier in this game as well, try dodging anything from Aurelia that has a way that she can get more Qs on you. So either her stun or her ultimate. In this case, I led with dodging her stun with my ultimate, so I just jump on her while she tried to stun me. And at that point, she always loses the fight. Now, of course, she is 3-8 and I am like 14-1, so she's never gonna win it anyway. But you still need to make sure you stick to those mechanics, because she has a lot of base damage and she can definitely still kill me. I do not have that much health. I don't have a Strix, I don't have any type of tanky stuff. I am mainly just a duelist with a lot of lifesteal, so I have to respect her damage and still play it properly. Right here, just opting to push for turrets. Ezreal there is just like ulting. I'm pressuring him there. As soon as I see him ulting, hitting him once, then just Eing him, auto attack Qing him, which like the Q gives you the auto attack reset again. And then I just back away. It's not worth it. As you can see, I got damaged a lot. Whilst the Ezreal is not even that strong, he's 0-4. I still got a lot of damage since I don't have any type of tank item. I don't have Strix. Again, nothing of the sort. So I definitely still need to play it safe, since if I die, I give 1,000 gold away. And I definitely do not want that. You do not want that either, so you definitely want to avoid that as much as possible. Alright, here I'm dancing around Trinity 4 stacks again with the Q. That's something you have to keep in mind. Alright, here I am opting to not go for this fight at all. We just got the inhibitor. We're in a pretty bad position without Zoe around. Even though, earlier as here as well, I am still lurking around, waiting for an opportunity. Maybe they chase, maybe they get hit low, maybe they do split up. And then you can make a play into that one and go back into the fight still. So I'm just waiting here. The play is happening. Soraka right there CC'd, so I see my opportunity to just jump on Soraka and just kill her. Get the stun, and then Soraka is out of the game. Right here, I am waiting for the Kindred ult cooldown, or just Kindred to just get out of her ultimate and flash over the wall or something. You just kind of have to know the cooldown on that. It's not... I do it by feel at this point, but I believe it's like 3 seconds. Can I still check that? 4 seconds. So you have to wait 4 seconds before Camille ult, Jesus. Before Kindred ult runs out, and you can just use the E on any wall and try to get the Kindred stunned on that last possible moment. And then you just kill her. Now, we win the game off that. I'm 16-1-0, didn't get a single assist, which is honestly pretty surprising. That usually doesn't happen to me, but this is definitely just a high pressure game, and going from a situation where there was an early team fight, early invade type of team fight, which towards lower elos definitely happens more often. I believe this game was played around mid-diamond elo, I don't even know. And it still happens a lot. If you can get that slight, just like 5 to 10 seconds on the enemy jungler by just starting your camp, you can take it out of control from there, as you saw this game. And definitely keeping up that gank pressure is what allows CAMILLE to just carry through a game really, really well. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to hit the thumbs up below. If you have any suggestions for more guides in the future, make sure to put those in the comments below as well. There will be a Nico jungle guide coming out in the next couple of days, so definitely look out for that one as well. If you want to see more guides from me in the future, hit the subscribe button, and yeah, see you guys in the next video. Bye!